What's good, everybody? Thank you guys for checking out episode 18 of Tune Check. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys all had a great weekend. And on this episode, I'm going to talk about some news. And then we're going to get into our small album reviews at the end. But like I said, let's start off with the news. First we got Doja Cat. Her fourth album, Scarlet, has officially been certified platinum in the US by the RIAA. So that's dope. If you haven't heard of Scarlet, go check it out. She released a deluxe a few months ago. I think it's a great album. It's one of my favorite albums. Even the singles that she released, they all went viral. They all made numbers. So that's good for her. And then a few days ago, she also went on social media. She posted up album, so it seems like she's working on something new. I'm excited to listen to it, so definitely looking forward to seeing what she comes up with now and what her new sound is, or if she has a new sound. Then next we got Don Toliver. Hearthstone Psycho is currently the most streamed rap album by daily streams for 2024. So I think that's fire. It definitely speaks volumes to the longevity of the album. Hearthstone Cycle was a really good album. He did like a alternative rap kind of thing. Then he has some trap beats in there, some trap styles and whatnot. It's one of the best albums of the year in my opinion. He's also on tour right now, so that could also be a reason why the album's being streamed like every day as much as it is. But shout out to Don Toliver. He's been doing his thing recently. His last album too was pretty fire. So if you haven't heard Hearthstone Cycle or anything recent that he's made, go check it out. You're gonna enjoy it. He's a dope artist. And then speaking about good albums, we got Tyler the Creator next. His album Chromacopia had over 85 million first day streams on Spotify. So it's now the biggest hip hop debut of 2024. It's on pace to debut at number one. And it's projected to sell 250K to 300K. To be honest, bruh, shout out to Tyler, man. Chromacopia was great. Tyler is one of the best like rappers out right now of this generation, to be honest, and it's great that he's doing numbers. And it's the biggest debut. That's fire. He ain't have to diss nobody for that. Nah, chill. I'm not gonna throw no shade, but I think it's dope. I think it's great. Tyler the Creator is amazing. He's definitely like one of the best creative artists out right now too. So shout out to Tyler. He announced his tour. I think tickets went on sale Friday. So, go check him out on tour. I think I might possibly have to see Tyler on tour as well. But if you haven't heard Chromacopia, go check it out. It's a great album, great project. I'm going to talk about it later in a few minutes. But back to the news. Next we got Kanye. He announced that Bully is up for pre-order on Yeezy.com. So that's exciting. So that means it's coming out soon. I think that's dope. He didn't give a release date yet, but I'm pretty sure it's probably gonna come out soon considering that he just dropped like, two back-to-back albums with Ty Dolla Sign. And they're not back to back, but you know what I mean. Like he dropped them within the same year. But I'm excited for this new Kanye era. They showed videos of him in Japan with like all these producers. They showed a video of him recently walking with his wife. He doesn't look bummy like how he used to look. He wasn't wearing no crazy ass Balenciaga fucking boots, no sweatpants, nothing. Like he looked like Kanye. Like he looked like Kanye from like 2015, 16, like just fresh, chilling, happy. So I'm excited. It seems like he's in a really good space right now. So, like I said, if you want to go pre order it, you can go pre order it on Yeezy.com. I don't know if they're gonna make another Vultures 3. I thought it was gonna be like a trilogy, but I'm guessing I'm wrong. And then next we got some news, revolving Ari Lennox. So a few days ago, she went on social media to pretty much, speak about how her manipulative contract with Interscope Records and Dreamville is. She stated that they refused to market her. She went on like a little rant. She was just pretty much just talking about like how she was feeling and what was going on. And it was very sad. She was pretty much saying why does she have to pay for her own ads when her label's supposed to be marketing her. That Interscope and Dreamville have been playing with her for the entire month basically. And she's exhausted. She's tired of people treating her like they're sorry for her and that she's like the face of mental health. She said that she's okay and that she's happier that she's ever been, basically. What she doesn't like is that she's signed to a label that's manipulating her. She also said that not one person on those labels know how to market her and protect her. And then she closed everything by saying that the industry stuff will never be for her. And it's very sad because like she went on social media earlier this month too and said that she's gonna get rid of all her, accounts and everything, that she just can't take it. It's not doing her any good. Even before that, like she was complaining about how she doesn't really get promoted too much, doesn't do this, that she even had to cancel some of her shows because of low ticket sales. I know she released like a new song recently too. and I thought it was fire. But it's crazy how it didn't really make any headlines like that, you know? So I kind of understand what she's like saying. She does release good music and she does make good projects. And I know she also had an issue when she was on tour with Rod Wave, you know, where his fans were pretty much booing her off stage and throwing stuff at her. I think she had to walk out of one show eventually too, because it was just too much. You know, she said that she didn't feel a connection with them, and it makes sense. You know, you got an R&B artist at a Rod Wave concert. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's kind of just very weird how like her label is kind of just making her do certain things. And there was a lot of R&B artists that were touring around that time as well. So they really could have just, you know, had her tour with them instead of Rod Wave. But it's just very weird how things are happening for her. But I hope that she, you know, figures it out and gets stuff settled with her label, or maybe like becomes independent. Even if she says she's okay, I feel like she's really not because of everything that's going on. Because I feel like she should have been bigger than what she is. You know, Ari Lennox, she's a great singer, a great artist, great performer. So it's just very crazy that they're taking this L, not doing these things for her when she could really help carry some of the label. But moving on, next we got news regarding Young Thug, Drake, and Future. So, you know, a few weeks ago, Young Thug went on social media to pretty much say that we're all brothers, music isn't the same without us collabing, and he tagged, you know, Drake, Future, and Metro, you know, pretty much just saying like y'all gotta stop beefing, you know, we gotta make music together, get this bag. And I think that's dope, you know, because he's friends with everybody. He's friends with all of them. And I feel like the way he went about it was pretty cool. And then later that day, Future even retweeted the post, which basically means that he wants to reconnect with Drake. Because Drake did unfollow like a lot of people. Like I saw that on the internet. I don't really know why people keep track of people unfollowing people. I think that's kind of weird, but I saw it on the internet and he didn't unfollow Future, so you know he's still trying to be friends with him. I feel like him and Drake really did have like a friendship, like a really good friendship. They was together a lot, even recently before like this whole beef thing happened. Like they would make like videos together, like on Instagram, like on their stories and stuff. You know, it would be cool to see like them just patch everything up and drop "What a Time to Be Alive" too. You know, I feel like Metro really wasn't influenced there, but he really just did that just to get a bag, you know, because he just wanted to diss Drake just so he could have like numbers, I guess, you know, make that money. I think it'll be dope if Drake and Future reconnect for sure. Everybody wants that. Everybody would love that. I mean, I don't mind if Metro Boomin and Drake make a song together. Like, I don't really give a fuck about that, to be honest. I love both of them. You know, I love Metro. I love his production. I think he's dope. I don't really care too much about them two collabing and shit. I feel like that's gonna take a little time for them to really be cool with each other after everything that happened. But you know, we'll see what happens. And then moving on to the next, you know, big headlines of the month of October. The first one being about Lil Durk. You know, it's a very sad situation. He was arrested by U.S. Marshals and was taken to California for a federal charge. You know, he got taken into custody. The charge being murder for hire for the death of Quando Rondo's cousin Lil Pab. So it turns out that P got snitched on somebody from his group, you know, OTF, a fellow OTF member. The person's name is OTF Jam. And apparently he's been wearing a wire for years while being with Dirk and stuff. Jam just got out of jail after serving 12 years, you know, and Dirk gave him money, gave him 50K, you know, he was taking care of his family. I think he even like gave him a home and helped other people that he was fucking with too, you know. And there was like a photo of Jam, you know, just snitching. Like they took a picture of him and they put it up on the internet, you know, of him just snitching on Dirk and shit, which is crazy, you know. But because of all of that, a total of 5 of Dirk's associates were brought in and they were all convicted. And they're all basically facing the death penalty at a maximum and then a mandatory minimum of 30 years. So, you know, that's insane. And it sucks too because like he just got keys to the city of Chicago and he had to give them back. Like it basically just got revoked. And around this time, like he's been on the album rollout. It was supposed to drop in November, I think, in like a few weeks. But I don't even know if it's dropping now at this point. But you know, this whole situation is crazy. Like it just happened out of nowhere. And then around this time as well, there was like a lot of videos that popped up of like celebrities giving Dirk advice from what Gillian Wallow. There was a video of one of them crying about, you know, what he was going through and explaining to Dirk that he has to stop, that he got to chill, let it go, you know. And then even 50 Cent was like, yeah, I gave Dirk advice about, you know, a lot of stuff, which is crazy because now we're seeing Dirk in this situation where like he's going to jail and could possibly face the death penalty. And it really sucks. You know, I know a lot of fans are probably like really devastated about it. Hopefully there's a way that he could move around it, you know, and get out and not be charged with nothing crazy, but I doubt that will be the case. And it's crazy how he was holding his mans down but yet he was the one that snitched on him. That just goes to show that you can't really trust nobody, you know, like you can't really be cool with everyone. You can't expect everybody to be your friend. We'll see how like this is gonna develop. And then next, the second big headline of the month that just happened like literally like what 2 3 days ago. Young Thug, he's finally free. That's crazy. That's amazing. He's been in jail since like I think 2022, what 2021? I think 2022 or 2021. I'm not too sure, but it's been a minute. Like he's been in there for a while. You know, last week he was going through like a plea deal with them. At first, they were gonna give him, I think, a total of 45 years. As he was talking to the judge, you know, she was like, I'm gonna give you time served. And now he's only going to serve 15 years of probation. And there's certain terms to his release that if he violates, he's gonna have to do a backload of 20 years. But the terms of his release are that he's banned from Metro Atlanta for 10 years, unless it's for like a wedding, a funeral, graduation, or like a serious illness. You know, he's also required to do 4 presentations or concerts a year going against gang violence, you know, anti gang, anti gun. He's allowed to travel for music, you know, for his work. That's how he makes his money. You know, that's his thing. He can have no contact with gang members or any co defendants. He asked the judge to be able to speak to Gunna and also his brother. He can't promote any gangs in any way, and at the end of everything, he took full responsibility for his crimes and apologized to his family, his mom, his manager, you know, and his kids. And but you know, shout out to Young Thug for taking responsibility for things that he's done. Shout out to him for also, you know, being cool with Gunna. You know, I was one of the people that thought Gunna snitched, but apparently he really didn't. So I guess everybody owes him an apology now. I just want to know how like this is gonna work for him, you know, because he has to do like 4 shows a year, basically. I mean, he doesn't have to, but I feel like that would be the best move for him because an artist. So if he does 4 shows, maybe he could do like a festival or something, you know, like every year, you know, get his money. I don't know if he's gonna be able to perform his older music, considering that it's about, you know, gangs and guns and stuff. And there was like a lot of people that was happy for him, you know, like Travis, Kanye, Drake, his girl, Mariah the Scientist. And I'm definitely happy to see him speak with Gunna again. So I think they're both probably gonna like do something together. I wouldn't be surprised if they do like a festival together that, you know, helps meet his requirements of doing 4 concerts or presentations a year. At the end of the day, you know, Thug is free. I can't wait to see, you know, what he's about to drop or what he's gonna do next. But let's get into the albums. You know, we got 3 hip hop albums that came out, you know, recently that I was fucking with. So we're gonna start off with EARTHGANG and Spillage Village. They released their album Perfect Fantasy, 18 songs, an hour and 3 minutes long. The features here are Pharrell, Eric Bellinger, T Pain, Damon, Albarn, Little Dragon, Benji, Tommy Newport, Rama, and Snoop Dogg. I personally like this album. You know, it's definitely a different sound and style from their usual one. You know, they've been pretty much making like a trilogy series about rapping about like tech and AI, you know, in the future and stuff. First one was called Rest in Peace, Human Art. Then the second one is Robophobia that dropped earlier this year. And this is the third one, you know, that closes off the series. So it's like a lot of like futuristic kind of like rap sounds. There was some alternative and like pop elements here too, you know. But throughout the entire like series, it's mostly just about futuristic, you know, like sounds. They're rapping about tech and everything, AI and all of that stuff. On this album, they're like singing a little bit more too. So I thought that was interesting. And I like how all of these styles and this whole series pretty much blend and make like a really, really good 3 albums and stuff. This album was fire though. Like I loved how all of that blended on this one too. It really they had said that they were on like a trip to Japan and stuff and that pretty much kind of cemented and gave them like official thoughts of what this album is going to be like. You know, they were inspired by Japanese culture and like the video games over there and stuff. And you could definitely hear that in the album as well. So they're pretty much just rapping about, you know, a world where tech and AI helps shape aspects of life and existence. It's not like how things are now where, you know, we rely on like all this tech constantly to do things for us. You know, they like pretty much explore a different world over here where tech brings freedom and excitement. Basically like a Y2K inspired kind of thing. And I love how like this whole series just shows how creative EARTHGANG is, how they're like willing to just really stick to certain things and the concept and just explore it, you know, while being, you know, themselves and rapping their asses off, showing that they got bars and stuff. I think that's dope. I think it's amazing. And if you haven't heard this album, go check it out because it's fire, honestly. Definitely go check out the entire series, the other 2 albums that they dropped, the first part and the second part. But shout out to EARTHGANG, they did their thing on this. And then the next album that we're gonna talk about is Eternal Atake 2. Lil Uzi, he dropped the sequel to Eternal Atake. 16 songs, 43 minutes. And this doesn't include the videos on like Apple Music. Apple Music has like 3 videos at the end, doesn't include it. So 43 minutes is just the songs. My favorite songs on this album was Lightyear, Pars in the Mars, Not an Option, She Stank, Chill Bay, Got Her Song, Perky Sex, Conceited, and Space High. So he announced this like what, 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. And I got excited, because I'm a Uzi fan. I fuck with Uzi. I think he's a dope artist. He makes great music. His last album, The Pink Tape, I thought it was a masterpiece. I thought it was dope. I love how he blended alternative music, rap, pop. I thought it was dope as fuck. I enjoyed it. I still listen to it to this day. It's one of my favorite albums, to be honest, of all time. Not a lot of people was fucking with it for some reason. But if you haven't checked out The Pink Tape, go listen to it. It's a great album. So like I said, this is a sequel to Eternal Atake. This pretty much gave me like 2014 Uzi vibes. I saw that this album got a lot of mixed reviews, and I understand why, because people were probably expecting more. And a lot of people were like, this is mid, like sounds repetitive, sounds like he just rushed everything, sounds like he just wanted to drop something. And I do get that, I do see that. And I was a little disappointed because I thought it was gonna be like better than the Pink Tape, but it wasn't. That's the only reason why I'm disappointed. And it does feel like it was rushed a little bit, and maybe he just wanted to release just to release something. But it definitely had like a bunch of songs that were fire. Like there wasn't really a concept to this album, but regardless of that, it was still good. He plays with a lot of like futuristic sounds, beats, and it mixes really good with his trap style and everything. With his random ass ad libs, and when he repeats like a certain word on a track. There's a song on here where he's just repeating Percocet for like a couple seconds. I fuck with that. I think it's dope, and it worked well to me. This album also follows the trend of barely having any features to it. A lot of the songs here aren't really for mainstream listeners. The only feature that he has on his album is Big Time Rush, which I thought was random as hell, but I feel as though this album isn't really for his mainstream listeners. Like I said, this sounds a lot like 2014 Uzi before like, he got like big and like was dropping heat and shit. I feel like this was really for his core fan base. The first 5 songs of this album was great. Then towards the middle, it was kind of like a hit or miss for me. And then when it gets back to the end, it started getting fire again. But he starts rapping about like love and shit, or like scenarios where he's in love, like. So towards the end, it had like a little bit of a theme, but throughout the whole thing, it's not really anything. It's just like songs that he just wanted to compile together. But overall, I thought it was fire. I thought it was a pretty good album for what it was. It's a Uzi album. But if you haven't heard it, go check it out. And I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, then I don't know. Like, I just think maybe you probably won't even enjoy any of his other music. But go check it out. Go stream it. And then last, we got Chromacopia. Tyler the Creator came back, announced it like a week before it came out, I think, and then just dropped it. 14 songs, 43 minutes long. Features Artizo Touchdown, Glorilla, Sexy Red, Lil Wayne, Daniel Caesar, Latoya Williams, Schoolboy Q, and Santi Gold. There are a few songs that are my favorite songs, like Ratata, Noid, Darling I, Hey Jane, I Killed You, Judge Judy Tomorrow. Overall, like as a concept, I really enjoyed the whole thing. This album was different for Tyler. His last album, Call Me If You Get Lost, was pretty much him just speaking about him enjoying himself, living life. This one is like a more mature side to him, dives into who he is as a person, and he speaks about certain things, what he's feeling, experiences and stuff. So I feel like it kind of came like in a full circle in a way. So you get one album about like youth and then another album about like maturity and stuff, some like Mac Miller type shit. But this album was a more mature version of himself. He takes like a more personal route, a more serious route as well. You see his vulnerability as a man, throughout this whole thing as a person. And I loved how he pretty much set it up. I love the track listing. I love how every song positioned in a perfect way for the next song. He went on stage at his listening party for this album and said that he had to wear like a mask of himself to get some of this out, which is understandable. It's very personal, so I feel like it was probably just really hard for him to speak about certain things. So I think it was hide behind a mask of himself so he could actually get it out. The album had a great mix of rapping and singing. The production was flawless. I thought it was great. This is 100% a Tyler the Creator album. He's, like I said earlier, he's one of the most creative artists we got right now. He also admits that it's hard being an adult. He's trying to make his mom happy, and pay her back for everything that she's done for him. But at the same time, he wants to live his life the way he wants to live it. There's a song on here called Like Him where he raps about his relationship with his father. He also has a song where he raps about the idea of like having children, but he's being really selfish. It's called Hey Jane. And on this song, he raps from his perspective, but then also a female's perspective, that's in a situation with him. Then there's a song called Take Your Mask Off, where he speaks about how people wear masks to hide their real personalities and be someone else. This also ties into him wearing a mask of himself because he's trying to be himself and show you who he is as a person. And then he's just speaking about just getting older and maturing, his life right now. And he's being honest with himself and showing us what's really going on with him. I love when artists do that. I think we all do when they make like real relatable music. And I feel like this album is definitely going to age perfectly. He even went on and said that this is him being his most honest person ever on stage and everything. And I think that's dope. Regardless of status, we're all just human beings. And I really enjoyed it too because he dropped it on a Monday. Like, music used to drop on like different days of the week. It wasn't all just Friday, and it just makes it really hard when all music drops on Friday because you can't really, digest everything. You're just listening to one album, then another one, which is why like a lot of the albums that dropped this year and like last year didn't really, stick well. Like it just came and went. People was talking about it for like 2 days and then on to the next thing. I really enjoyed that he dropped it on a Monday. I think that's dope. It gave everybody a chance to listen to it, everybody to enjoy it, to get what they needed to get. And hopefully more artists start doing the same thing. I know EARTHGANG did it too. They dropped on like Tuesday. But, go listen to all the albums that I reviewed just now. Definitely check out Chromacopia, the best album of the month, probably album of the year to be honest. You could catch Tyler on tour. His tickets are on sale. Shit, I might even have to go, like I said earlier. But that's about it for this episode. Thank you guys for listening. Go check out my other episodes. Follow me on social media. Subscribe to my YouTube. Like, download, support. Send this to your family members. Send this to, your aunts, cousins, friends, coworkers, anybody, your neighbor, fuck it. Person at the deli, doesn't even matter. But I hope you guys all have a great week and tune in next time. Peace.